Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody? Thank God Ogden called me and said, dress warm, it's chilly out there. Well, I'm really, really happy to be here. This is the first time in the years I've been mayor that we are naming any park or park space or park project after somebody. We kind of resist that because, you know, we don't want to wear that exercise out. But this is the first time, and I think it's so well deserving for a person as special as Loretta. I talked not too long ago. I found myself in one of these hospital wings, and walking down there, I saw a photo of Charlie Cawley. There's this little photo on a guy, and I thought, my God, this guy was the most consequential figure of our time. He's got this little picture on a wall. And then it occurred to me, if you walked up and down the street and you asked people who Charlie Cawley is, 7 out of 10 people wouldn't know. And really just a person of, and so the reason I bring this up is because I remember thinking he was so consequential. And that word stuck with me. It just means that you mattered, that you let your fingerprints all over this city. And when I thought of Loretta, I thought, my God, what a consequential person she was. She really, really left her mark wherever she was. She wasn't easy. She slapped me around so much. I mean, I said, like, Loretta, I'm the mayor. You can't talk to me like this. You guys don't know what you're doing. You know, okay. Thank you for that lesson in humility. But she was just a wonderful force of nature. She was, believe it or not, I mean, she really was, over a lifetime, she was a person who was warm and loving and at the same time tough. And our council changed the minute Loretta was gone. Right, James Spadola? You told me that. The minute Loretta was gone, she was kind of the glue of the city council. And she was so important to us, and her presence is deeply missed. Robin, I'll just say a couple of words later, but believe me, to have someone this special in your life and sharing it with us is just a source of warmth for us. So, you know, behind us, I thought we were going to have a big ceremony. Rego said that the thing that covered it was so ugly, he didn't want to keep it up there. So, but, you know, this is sweet. I mean, you get up, it's not just her name, it's a face. It's the kids get here and they see this person whose name is emblazoned on this field. And I always think that when we name people, we don't name it so much for them as we name it for us. She's a reminder that this field named after Loretta is a reminder of what is highly regarded by this community. So let that be a lodestar for all of us in public life. My first introduction is, I'm going to introduce a man distinguished because he walked here from his house. The governor walked. So John Carney, I know you knew Loretta very well. Come on up and share some thoughts.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. There aren't many events I get to walk to, and there aren't many events that I get to be with all of you to celebrate a really, really special person. And in some ways to connect the past with the future. And as I walked up and saw these little guys and gals, they're just getting ready to play their first game. They're so excited. They don't know that it's cold out like we do. And I ran into Tom Ogden, who played on this field probably 50 years ago, with a guy by the name of Tom Lemon, who's in the Delaware Baseball Hall of Fame as one of the most successful high school baseball coaches that we have. And Tom Lemon calls this the Field of Champions. So welcome to the Field of Champions, forever forward, called Loretta Walsh Field. And if ever there was a champion for the city of Wilmington, it was Loretta. It was Loretta. And she had a heart as big as this field, but she was tough. When Senator McDowell walked up, and I said, okay, well, everybody's here now that Harris is here. And he and Loretta worked on a lot of projects together. And I said, you guys really you work together, you got along? And she said, yeah, and she was like this too. He put his shoulder down. But she was a true blessing to our state and to this neighborhood. I've lived down the street now for almost 40 years. My youngest son played baseball all the way through at this Field of Champions. And it's a special place. And it's a special place for all look at these little guys right here. Is that something? Yes. Yeah. And the adults, and to the adults, the parents, everybody puts your time in. We're going to hear from to make this field the Field of Champions. Thank you very much. God bless you all. God bless you, Loretta. Thanks for everything you did for Delaware.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you so very much. Before we move on, I just want to introduce our city council members who are here. Councilmember Spadola over here. Councilmember Cabrera, we're going to hear from in a moment. Councilmember White, Vincent White's here. Yolanda McCoy. And the governor mentioned it, but a special introduction to former Senator Harris McDowell, who this was his special place. Councilwoman Bracy snuck in. Okay, anybody else that I insulted? Thank you very much. Okay, special friends are going to get up in here and saying a few words, and a very special State Senator Sarah McBride is next. Come on up, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I did not get the memo on the weather this morning, so I will be brief. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
It is so exciting to be here on opening day with these incredible athletes. My name is Sarah McBride. I am Harris McDowell's successor as the state senator for the 1st Senate District representing this area in Dover, and I was a mentee of Loretta Walsh. It is an absolute privilege to be here today with you all to honor this giant of Wilmington and of Delaware. It's great to be here where I have a lot of memories, mostly joyful memories, some traumatic memories when I was a t-ball player. It's hard to be a bad t-ball player, but somehow I was a bad t-ball player. I desperately needed Loretta's coaching, which I never was able to benefit from, but I know we are joined today by so many people who benefited from Loretta's coaching on and off the field. And I know, Mr. Mayor, you mentioned that this is really the first of its kind where we're naming an open space here in Wilmington after someone, but how fitting it is to make a first with a trailblazer like Loretta Walsh. And how fitting it is that the place we are naming is a place where the rising generation of Wilmingtonians will receive mentorship and coaching from some of the current leaders of this city on their teams. And that is the beauty of Loretta, because no matter how long she served in city council, she was always young at heart, young in spirit, and young in ideas. And no matter where she rose, she always recognized that she had a responsibility to ensure that the young people throughout her life, including the young people behind us, were left a city better off than the one she found. And so how fitting it is today that we honor someone whose life was such a home run. Thank you to everyone who made this possible. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Loretta, for all you did for us.
Thank you, Sarah. And now, central to what we're here for today, I want to introduce the president of the Wilmington Little League, Dr. James Costanzo.
Good morning. I'm Jim Costanzo, president of Wilmington Little League, coach of 2 Wilmington Little League teams, and proud father of 3 boys, 2 of whom will be playing on the fields here today. I didn't have the pleasure to know Loretta, But on behalf of the Board of Directors of Wilmington Little League, I'm honored to be a part of this ceremony to remember Loretta. We on the board are deeply committed to serving this league and this city in a manner that I hope would make Loretta Walsh proud. While a day like this might seem like a small thing, I think that events like this are vital to raising our children and growing our community, and also demonstrating the commitment of members of this community to our future. A lot went into planning this day, but I would specifically like to thank Mayor Przicki, Governor Carney, our City Council, and particularly City Council Member Cabrera, State Senator McBride, Ian Smith of Parks and Recreation, John Rago, and especially Loretta's family for their help in organizing this great day. Thank you.
Number 3 was supposed to be Senator Cabrera, Councilmember Cabrera. Senator, what do you think? You got stuck behind some scribble. So come on up and say hello.
It's okay, Mayor. Forgive me. Well, for me, it really truly is an honor to be up here. If any of my council members would like to stand with me, I welcome you to come up. I'm here to speak. Nathan Field was scheduled to do this, but he is away. And when I think of Nathan, Nathan was Loretta's neighbor, and I know that he took care of her and he was there, and more importantly, she took care of him and took him under her wing the same way she did with me when I got on city council. I first met Loretta when I was working for Mayor Sills as the receptionist. I'd see her go by and she waved, and she was very intimidating. I will have to say, I was a little scared of her, you know. And I'd heard her speak on council. I would go to the council meetings, and then when I saw her run for mayor, I said, well, she's fierce. I mean, she was just fierce. This tiny woman with that beautiful hair and that twinkling Irish eyes. I mean, she was fierce. She fought for what she believed in. She fought for the people of Wilmington. As an at-large council member, she took care of everybody. I was always amazed, especially in her later years when she really couldn't get out and about, how she got things done. Constituent services was the #1 thing that Loretta Walsh did. She took care of everybody, but she had this wonderful group of friends who I always said I wanted to inherit them, so maybe they could be my people too, because that's how Loretta got things done. She befriended me when I first got elected. She gave me advice. She took me under her wing, her and Bud Friel. It was like the people that you least expect to be there for you. That's what Loretta did. She, you know, she put that path forward. And as a woman, I remember seeing her because I think that was the first woman who ever ran for mayor. And all the things that she did. So for me, as a young woman coming up in city government, long before I became elected, she became a role model and set the path on what true leadership and community service is. So for that, I'm thankful, and I know we're grateful for that, and that is why we're here today to honor her. So I don't want to keep us here any longer. I know that Councilman Spadola did want to say just a brief moment, and then thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cabrera. You know, the mayor mentioned it earlier, but when we lost Loretta, this council just really lost a rock that held us together. What I missed the most about her is how open she was to a different point of view. And, you know, she'd always end a phone call with, James, am I crazy? Am I wrong? Tell me. And she meant it. Like, you know, it's a lost art to have a good faith disagreement and really just a good faith conversation about issues you might be on the different side of the angle with. But she invited it, and, you know, she was a bulwark against, I think, some of the tribalism and hatred that we see all over the world today. So she will be missed, and glad to be here with everybody today.
Thank you, Maria. Let's see if there's anybody else I see over here. Okay, you are in the middle of a Wilmington park, and so we have the director of parks here, Ian Smith.
Good.
You know what John Carney just said? We're sitting here, John Carney leaned over, he said, can you believe how many people showed up for this? That's a testament to our girl, really. There you go.
Thank you, man. How's everyone feeling?
Excellent.
All right, welcome to Jamaica. Yeah.
Say what you say.
Well, go on. Yeah. My wife and I moved here 8 years ago, and for whatever reason, Loretta used to call me. And I would wonder, why is this lady calling me and giving me advice? She doesn't even know me. But I appreciated it, because when you come to a city and you know no one, and someone that everyone is championing for, calling, saying is amazing, is reaching out to give you a little bit of advice, you know that you're being blessed. And no one knew how much time we would have, so I give thanks for those small memories that I have with her. Now, I was a terrible Little League player. I stepped inside my glove one time. I only got to first base because the thought I got hit with the pitch. So I should not be up here talking about baseball. But of all the things someone could aspire to be, have something named after them, this is really cool. Most of these kids will not know who she is, but they will grow up and they'll say, who is she? I remember that name, and they will look her up and they will find out all the amazing things that we know about her. So, Loretta, congratulations. You earned this, and thank you all.
Okay. Two people who really made great contributions and were close friends of Loretta, former Councilman Kevin Kelly and Councilman Bud Friel. Irish eyes. And so Robin, it's got to feel pretty good to know how much your mother was loved, right? I mean, I can tell you, they name something after me, I'll have 3 people out of it. They're not gonna. This is beautiful, and so you should feel wonderful. Come on up and share your love with this community that wants to hear about it.
Hi, everybody. I am so touched. I may have to put my sunglasses on if I start crying. First of all, I want to thank everyone up here today who has spoken such kind words about my mother. It really is touching for me. I know she would appreciate it. I know she'd probably be in the back, sort of embarrassed and not wanting to be honored, because she, believe it or not, she was very reserved. Thank you. So thank you all. Thank you all so much for your kind words and for making this happen today. And especially Senator McBride. We had an email chat, and there are a couple people who are not up here today who I want to acknowledge. Cassandra Marshall, who was one of my mother's closest friends. And like many of you, they had love-hate moments. But Cassandra was the political whisperer. She was her tech expert when my mother couldn't open her phone or figure out, how to do things with her computer. And then also we had Councilmember Fields, who was also part of that group, helping to coordinate. And then John Rago, I cannot say enough about how impactful he was making this day happen, helping creating the sign, creating the brochure, getting the speakers together. So I really want to give him a special thanks, because I think he's often behind the scenes, and he's probably in the back somewhere too, but thanks, John. My mother adored him, and for obvious reasons. So I actually grew up on these fields. I was one of these kids in the back. I played Little League here. It was called the Optimist Little League field back in the day. And I see the younger people have pants on. We played in jeans. There was not a lot of money for the fields then. And my mom was my coach. And if some of you have said she was very tough on me, she was not tough on the other players, but she had very high expectations. And I'm really not sure if I was playing baseball because of my skills. I was a good catcher. I know I was good. I felt it. But I think it was part of my mother being the maverick she was, which I too have inherited those qualities. And we were convinced we were going to prove to everyone that a girl could play baseball. Woo! Right? And this is late 70s, early 80s. I was one of 2 or 3 girls who play baseball. So I have looked around and I see lots of girls here playing baseball. And I just want to shout out to the girls. My mother, when I was young, she made me buy a T-shirt that said, "Anything boys can do, girls can do better." Now, that's a heavy message, and I'm not saying that's the message you should carry on, but I love seeing the girls and all these dedicated players. And she was obviously my mom, but she was really the mom of the league back then. I mean, she was beating down doors and making calls for sponsors and donors to pay for uniforms and equipment and the concession stand. So kids did not have to pay for playing. She also, win or lose, she took her team and anybody who wanted to join to Pappy's. I don't know if people remember Pappy's or Charcoal Pit. And she was always the last one to leave this field on Saturdays, game days, and during the week because she had to make sure every single kid had been picked up and they were on their way safely. So, you know, for her, the league meant, it really represented everything that she loved in Wilmington: positivity, perseverance, joy, happiness, laughter. And most of all, community, because she loved this city because of the community. And when my mother, you know, the days she was not feeling well and she would talk about her legacy, she didn't want buildings or bridges, and I'm sure there will be some for you, Mr. Mayor, I'm sure. She didn't want those things. She said to me, "I just want a field." She said, "I want a baseball field." She said, "Rob, it's okay. It can be that practice field in the back. I just would like that dedicated to me." So Mom, you not only have the practice field, you have the whole complex. And I know she would be so incredibly humbled and proud to have that happen. So I know it's cold today. I appreciate everyone coming out. People I have not seen in years showing up. She loved you all, really. And I know you all miss her, and I miss her immensely. So I just want to tell the group that's playing today, I hope you have a wonderful opening day, and I hope you have a season full of joy and laughs and learning, and the community that is such a big part of this field and Wilmington and my mother. So thank you all.
That's wonderful, Robin. You're right, women can play baseball. And they can play basketball too. Can't they? Oh my goodness. So to close out our ceremony, we're going to ask Dr. Jim to come back up here again.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for everyone being here today. We are going to transition over to the field now for our regular opening day ceremony. So if all the parents and fans can move over to our bleachers behind the main field here, and we're going to have all the teams and coaches and volunteers line up behind the first base dugout. We're going to have volunteers over there to line them up in the correct order, and we're going to move on to our opening day and then the games to follow that. Also, the mayor's office did create this excellent memento of the day, which is a roster of all today's players. So if you'd like, you can pick one up at the concession window and just ask for one of these mementos. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. So play ball. But you know, I have to tell you, this is beautiful. But the love that's in this space is more beautiful. And I'm so moved by it, as Robin mentioned. So that concludes our ceremony. If you'd like to, let's walk over and see these kids play for a little while. Thank you all for being here.
play fair and strive to win, but win or lose, I will always do my best.